Hi everyone, welcome back to another edition of Stash Bash. This is the first Stash Bash hop of 2018. I have a layout where I used a bunch of random embellishments, and it's kind of similar to one technique that I've done before. So I'm going to link to that other video here, but you'll want to stay to the end of this video because I do have a big giveaway. Okay, so I have this bowl on my desk that every time I finish up a project, if I have a few extra embellishments, I throw it in the bowl. I have these two 4x6 photos. I have a best day ever cut out for my silhouette and a piece of white cardstock. So I'm going to dump out everything in that bowl and take to the side any of these embellishments that I think might work for this layout. So I really like the stars. These photos were from the last day of school last year. So I have stars, I find a little apple in there. I have so many different kinds of embellishments. So I'm looking at colors and I'm looking at theme, and those mint tabs weren't going to work for me for the colors at all. So once I have everything pulled to the side that I might want to use, I am going to figure out sort of how the layout's going to go. I think it's going to go like that. I do end up changing my mind here. I have some Thermoweb mixed media adhesive. This is a liquid adhesive, and I'm just putting a little dot on the back of these tiny little embellishments and starting to put them all over the different letters for this large title. I think this title is a Jillibean soup die cut that is available in the Silhouette online shop, so you can get it there. I have a really thin tipped adhesive nozzle on the top of my glue here, and that is because some of these embellishments are teeny tiny and I want to be able to just put a little bit behind. This adhesive does dry clear though, so no need to worry if you put a little too much and it kind of oozes out the side. You won't even notice it. So I'm trying to have a mix of different colors, different types, different shapes, and I want to have a little bit of the white showing so that you can still read the words. Turns out I'm going to cut these 4x6 photos down a little bit. I am going to trim them a little thinner, and I'm just going to do that but not cut off his ears there. And then on the left hand side of this photo, I didn't want to cut off her arm, so I just thought that would look weird. So I cut off on the right hand side, and now I have two photos, and I think I'm going to kind of layer them like that, possibly like that. You'll see in a few minutes that this was a great idea, but it wasn't going to work out. Okay, so now as my title is drying, all those embellishments are drying, I realize I don't like the way it looks on a white background. It gets lost, it's hard to read the title. So I do want a piece of pattern paper. I have this from Jillibean soup. It's from Chit Chowder, and I really love this piece of paper, and I love the color as well. So I'm just going to take the UPC strip off. Then I'm going to open up my trimmer. This is my big Fiskars trimmer, and I'm going to cut a 7 by 12 inch strip of the pattern paper. At first, I lined up the pattern paper on the left hand side, but your eye usually moves from left to right because of the way that we read. And so I wanted the photos to be on the left because I want the photos to be the main attraction of my layout. So now I'm going to adhere down that pattern paper flush to the right hand side of the cardstock. I'm using some tape runner. This is my favorite tape runner. It's from Thermoweb. It's called Memory Runner XL. And now I've decided that I'm going to cut down the height of the photos as well. So I'm just looking here, and I just decided that I wanted some white space on the top and the bottom of the photos. And again, that's just giving the eye a place to rest because the title is so busy. I did want the left-hand side of this page to be pretty simple and just to have, again, that focus on these photos because that's really the main important part of this layout for me. I don't have a huge story to tell. I really just love these two photos and wanted them both down together on a layout. So you can see I just lifted up the pattern paper a little bit so I could slip the photo just slightly behind. I just like the way that that looks as opposed to the photo edge and the pattern paper edge butting up next to each other. Sometimes I like that look, honestly, but this time I wanted everything kind of layered on top of each other. So the photo of my son is slightly on top of my daughter's photo, and both of these photos are slightly underneath that pattern paper there. And I like the way this kind of ends up with a look of a magazine where you have the large photo spread on one side and then like a busy graphic or something on the right hand side. So in order to adhere down this large title, I'm trying to figure out exactly where it's going to go first. And I like the way it looks justified to the left. So that's going to make it look like it's sort of part of that white cardstock that's seeping out behind. This time I don't really need that thin tip, so I grabbed a full bottle of the Thermoweb Memory Runner XL. You don't need a ton of it, but you do want a little bit on each letter. And again, I'm just going to carefully flip it over and lay it down next to my photos. And I really, really like the way that looks on that pattern paper background. I think it really pops off the page. Sorry about my head there. And I'm just going to gently press down everywhere so that it can start drying onto that pattern paper. Now, I still had some leftover embellishments there that I didn't use. I was trying to use up that whole bowl or most of it, but I decided to keep the left-hand side really clean and stay away from adding more embellishments. I did play around with a few things. I put a couple of stars on there and I didn't like it. So I'm going to grab a couple of the labels that were in that little bowl. They have a gold trim to them that I think is really cute. And I'm just going to put last day of school on one and the date on the other. And I'm going to use that same tape runner, the Memory Runner XL, to adhere those down. And the great thing about that tape runner is you can use it on wood veneer, you can use it on paper. I could have used it on everything here. I just thought it would be faster to use the liquid adhesive. So I'm just going to add one more star from, and these stars are from Ellie Studio. I really love these stars and I've been hoarding them for a long time. So this was the perfect stash bash for me because this bowl has been sitting this full on my desk for probably about a year now. So it feels so good to kind of get some of these products onto the page, to get these photos onto a page. And that's the whole idea of the stash bash. So I did put a little paper clip. That's a Tim Holtz one. And I've, again, had those for a long time as well. And then the little wood veneer camera next to the labels. Again, I'm going to use that thin tip from the adhesive, the Memory Runner, the mixed media adhesive, sorry, on that second label there. And that pretty much completes my layout. So just grab some random embellishments. You don't have to use wood veneer or gems or anything in particular. You can mix and match and throw them all together. And if you put them on a die cut title, it's a lot of fun. Okay, so here's my giveaway. Everything else that was in that bowl is now in this little bag. So if you saw something that you love, this is the giveaway for you. So I just put it all into a little baggie. It's got washi tape and gems and flowers and wood veneer, but that wasn't enough, of course, because I like to fill a nice big box. So I have some Jillibean soup clips, I have some Southern Trading Company stars, some photo corners, a ton of 4x6 cards from Simple Stories, some die cuts, lots and lots of goodies. And I'm going to just take a medium size or a large size priority mailbox, stuff all this inside, and whatever room is left, I'm going to fill with more good things. So you'll want to be sure to comment down below, leave your email address if it's not easily accessible by me so that I can contact you. And this giveaway, unfortunately, is only open to US domestic because I am putting it in a US priority mailbox. Okay, there is a link to subscribe to my YouTube channel here. Please do that if you're entering the giveaway, or let me know that you already subscribe. There's a link to my blog, and then I'll have a link to some other videos, including other Stash Bash videos and other fun things. I want to thank you so much for stopping by today. Have a wonderful day.